Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we're talking about 5 discontinued Bath & Body Works fragrances that I would love to see return for spring. Each of these fragrances are ones that I've owned before. They might even be ones that you own now, so maybe if you were kind of debating what to do with them or you haven't brought them out in a while, this is your sign to bring them out. Also, I love filming these videos just in case Bath & Body Works is watching and needs inspiration. I have some fragrances that I think so many of us would love to see return. That said, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. We do all things body care on my channel. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's dive right on into the video. All right, you guys, I'm gonna sit on this side of the screen and put some images up right here. We're gonna go ahead and start out with a classic. I think this is one that has been released either 3 or 4 times. Of course, I'm gonna put my favorite packaging on the screen, which is no other than this beautiful hot pink and almost like Tiffany blue packaging. And this is Hello Beautiful. Now, Hello Beautiful, if you're unfamiliar with this one, but you're familiar with my channel, you're going to learn very quickly why I love this fragrance, as pretty much every single note in this is really one of my favorites. So Hello Beautiful, if you're unfamiliar, has notes of white gardenia, jasmine petals, magnolia blossom, pink nectarine, and cotton musk. It was just the perfect amount of floral, the perfect amount of sweet. It was a very wearable fragrance, but still kind of had this spring edge to it. Like, I definitely think you could wear it year round, kind of similar to like an 1,000 Wishes or Champagne Toast. Really nice everyday wearable fragrances, not too strong, not barely there, but there was just something in it. Maybe it was the cotton musk or the magnolia blossom that just really had a nice softness for spring. I really enjoy this fragrance. I know so many of us did, and I would absolutely love to see this one back. I think this would be great as part of kind of like this spring maybe revival or like Mother's Day collection even. I feel like this one is super giftable. It has the cutest name and the packaging. One of the best packagings in my opinion. I feel like I say that quite frequently though, but as you will see, most of these fragrances are from like the same era, probably all within maybe a 2 or 3 year span of each other. So you're gonna see a trend with the packaging, but I just absolutely love this one and would love to see this one return. Now the next fragrance is one that my sister wore for years. And if you are watching in my Project Use It Ups from probably maybe a year or 2 ago, you will see this fragrance pop up, and it is Beautiful Day. Now Beautiful Day has notes of sun-kissed apple, sparkling cassis, wild daisies, pink peony, and fresh woods. And like Hello Beautiful, this one has been released so many times simply because it is one of the best apple fragrances on the market. It has such a really pretty kind of green apple vibe to it. In one of the original packagings, that's probably the one I'll put on the screen. It does, or maybe I'll put, I think I'm gonna put the Fine Fragrance Mist, which is kind of like the blue-green ombre in a vibe, and then it has like these floral outlines and I think like a shimmery pink. But on one of the original lotion bottles, I don't think the Fine Fragrance Mist, I think it was just like the lotion and the body wash, they had like a green apple and some florals around it, and this was a green apple fragrance. Not in the way that like Candy Apple Cauldron was. This one was definitely a bit softer, perfect for spring. Wasn't similar at all to like a Country Apple. To me, Country Apple is like a July fragrance or like kind of an early fall fragrance. Beautiful Day though, Beautiful Day was like the spring sister of a Country Apple. Absolutely love this fragrance, super wearable. I would love to see more apple fragrances at Bath & Body Works. I feel like right now we are super limited to the 2, and they are in fall and winter. So we always have usually Champagne Apple and Honey. That one's I think that one's came out really the last, honestly, as long as I can remember, in terms of consecutive years. I think we've seen that one be extremely consistent as the fall traditions have changed. And then of course, in the winter time, we love it. It's a tradition at this point. It is part of the iconic trio, Winter Candy Apple. I love Winter Candy Apple. I think I just like all apple fragrances, but I would love to see a more stable spring apple. I think we see a lot of florals come back. Usually we have Moonlight Path available. Usually we have things like Sweet Pea and Fresh Cut Lilacs available. I'd really like to see kind of apple cement itself as not just a fall and winter fragrance, but also a spring fragrance. So if you have Beautiful Day, definitely reach for it, especially as we are starting to hit into the warmer months. I think this one can serve as a great transitional fragrance between spring and summer. Now, the next fragrance we have, again, iconic packaging. And this one also reminds me of a store called Charming Charlie's. That will mean a lot to some of you, to other people, that means nothing. Charming Charlie's was, I think, years ahead in terms of how they styled the store. As a very type A person, I loved that it was by color. It was one of the best stores. And this fragrance definitely gave like a Charming Charlie's vibe to me. And it's no other than Mad About You. Love Mad About You. I thought this one was just so iconic for the time in terms of packaging. It had the black cap. It kind of had this like black and white stripe design on some of the other different product types. I believe on the Fine Fragrance Mist, it was the black cap, the pink bottle, you had the Mad About You font, and then I think it was like a chartreuse, an orange, and a pink flower. Was it 3? I think it was 3. It had 3 flowers on it, but this one was one that I feel like was just a little bit too maybe mature for me at the time, and I felt really cool using it. So this one holds very good memories for me. This one though has notes of black currant, bright peony, pink jasmine, white patchouli, and vanilla musk. And I think it's the combination of the black currant and the white patchouli. They just kind of gave it like this deeper, sexier vibe. Nothing like a Dark Kiss or like an Into the Night. Those are definitely some stronger, deeper fragrances in my opinion. Mad About You was like a couple of levels lighter than that, but it was still something that I felt extremely cool wearing at the time. And this was just a cool girl fragrance in my opinion. I don't really see fragrances outside of maybe Lush and maybe the Body Shop, which I think the Body Shop has completely, I don't think it's available in the US anymore. I think it might be exclusively UK, but we don't really see black currant popping up anywhere, and that one is so good. If you like things like the Comforter at Lush, that one has a pretty strong black currant fragrance to it. It's just a really unique fragrance profile that I think is something people are looking for when they want something that's still kind of in a berry family or still something that's not like super out there, but they just want it to be a little bit more unique. I think this is also something we see when people do like pomegranate fragrances. I think that's why so many people like things like a Forever Red, because it's a berry, but it's not just your generic berry. It's a little bit something different. I think black currant definitely serves a very similar role in similar fragrances, so I think this is one a lot of people would love to see back. A+ packaging, A+ scent story. I'm a little bit older now, so I don't know if I'd feel as cool wearing it, but this is one that I would absolutely love to see back. The next one we have is definitely softer than the other ones that I'm talking about, and I think we're definitely due for a really soft and clean, kind of like a soft, clean laundry scent at Bath & Body Works. I think the best that we're doing in the body care right now is Gingham, the original Gingham, which really isn't too much of a clean scent. It kind of is, but I think we could definitely do something a little bit cleaner. I love things like Sea Island Cotton, or I think is it Sea Island Cotton and Sea Island Breeze? Is it both Sea Island for both of them? I think so. But this is one that I think is even more perfect for spring because it does have a floral to it. As you guys know, I'm a big floral person, and that is Magnolia Charm. Now, Magnolia Charm has notes of dewy pear blossom, blooming magnolia, and a fresh cedar. I love pear. I love that it's a little bit softer because it's not pear, it's pear blossom, so it kind of has that nice floral note to it. Then you pair it with the magnolia, and when Bath & Body Works is on the money when it comes to magnolia, I think it's fantastic. Unfortunately, the Bath & Body Works ex-Disney Princesses Mulan, it just didn't, the magnolia did not come through at all to me in full transparency. Didn't get the apricot, didn't get the magnolia. Really the only thing I got were those fierce waters, which almost had like a borderline patchouli like spice note to it. So that was just one that really is one of the most recent that has magnolia in it, but I didn't end up picking that one up. Magnolia Charm on the other hand, super wearable, super clean fragrance. It's kind of like those makeup looks where it's like no makeup. This is like a no fragrance, if that makes sense. It's light, it's pretty, perfect for spring. Would love to see this one back. Definitely something that would appeal to somebody that wants just a kind of simpler, scent story. They don't want a lot of berry. They don't want like a super deep musk note. Super wearable, super pretty, really catered towards the spring, but you could really wear it any time of year. And the packaging was just so pretty. It was simple. I think this one released maybe once or twice, but I really love the iconic, just, I think it was just a little magnolia blossom on maybe the lotion, maybe it was. I'll probably end up putting the Fine Fragrance Mist on the screen, but I think this one was super pretty inside and out of the bottle and the packaging. Now, the last fragrance we have is one that I think I've touched on a couple of times this year because I've been talking about scent stories that we're not seeing, but we need to, and that is a lemon fragrance, and of course it is Limoncello. Now, Limoncello has notes of sparkling lemon, sugared mint, fresh, I think it's verbena, maybe it's verbena, correct me if I'm wrong, orange blossom, and Italian cedarwood. Now, when it comes to lemon, my biggest thing is I don't want it to smell like a lemon cleaning product. Like, I do not want basically my Fine Fragrance Mist to be a souped up, prettier looking version of like lemon Lysol cleaning spray. That is definitely not the vibe. Limoncello though, and there's limoncello and there's sparkling limoncello. I think they're the same fragrance though. I'm gonna have to look back in the archives, but limoncello, it definitely did not give a cleaning product at all, but it wasn't gourmand like like an iced lemon pound cake. It didn't go gourmand at all. It was just fun, wearable. You had the lemon, you had that kind of sugared mint, which gave it this more like unique kind of herbal sense in a way, but not like too like earthy herbal, and definitely not like an off the vine, like really kind of like super green and earthy. It just added a little bit of something different. Like, I think this was really one of the peak of Bath & Body Works releases simply because they were doing more traditional scent stories. So a lemon is definitely a citrus, it's wearable, but then you add things like that sugared mint, like that Italian cedarwood, just to kind of spruce it up a little bit and make it a little bit more unique, a little bit more different. And it's something when you smell in the store, you maybe smell it the first time and you go, okay, a lemon. And then you smell it again and you go, oh, that has something else in it. Like, this is something kind of different. I feel like Bath & Body Works has unfortunately strayed away a little bit from that, but I think, like I said, with the majority of these fragrances, this was such a good era of fragrance, a good era of packaging, and this is something that I would definitely love them to do maybe in the future. Kind of like a vault collection, paying homage to years prior, or even bringing back the section on their website that I think it was called like Discontinued Favorites, and they had a bunch of discontinued items that you could still purchase online. They think I got rid of that in 2020, but that was one of the best places. You could still get your things like your Cashmere Glow. For me, it was like Velvet Sugar. Like, that was definitely the one that I was interested in, but I think it was really fun because we have so many fragrances in the vault that I think a lot of people would love to see back. They're interesting scent stories, yet still very much wearable. So those are going to be my top 5 picks. Let me know if there's any overlap with your top 5 discontinued spring favorites that you'd like to see back. If there's no overlap, let me know your top 5. We do have SAS coming up, which I can't believe I'm already talking about summer SAS. But if you remember from last year, we did do a voting, and I did do an entire video on it. So I will start doing some SAS themed videos using what we voted on to see, okay, these are maybe the options. Let me know what you guys think. So that is coming, but I do always think it's fun to look at past fragrances and kind of figure out which ones we'd like to see back. And also, it's a fun walk down memory lane. But you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.